2015 is still early in the 47 Forever journey, but by this time I have known Newt for almost 2 years. We met through Squid, when we shot on a very windy day on a parcel of undeveloped land. Now we are kind of on her home turf. It's live free or die in New Hampshire. And we are shooting in a graveyard in Dover. This would become an annual expedition for us. Shooting in the graveyards of New England. I was always a borderline goth kid growing up. This must confirm it. Before we get to the pictures, I just wanted to point out that I was still vignetting my edited images. Thankfully it isn't too obvious here. I wanted an antique look and I thought that a heavy black shadow in the corner was the way to go. It was not. This outfit is 100% Newt. Looking back at these shots, I would have got a wide one with the structure and the model. And alternate these shots tight and wide. In this era, I'd always be sure to grab a photo of the model's shoes and say, for the feet guys. I'm not even a foot guy myself. The most important part about this shoot, besides the pictures, is the poetry. The poetry of Richard Siken. Siken is a poet and painter, who by this time, had one collection of poetry published, called Crush. Newt pulled up one poem from Crush on her phone entitled Litany, in which certain things are crossed out. And it was sprawling and captivating and beautiful. She lent the book to a boy who didn't return it to her. We sat and she read it out to me. Here are some pictures while I recite to you an excerpt. Dear forgiveness. You know that recently we have had our difficulties. And there are many things I want to ask you. I tried that one time. High school. Second lunch. And then again. Years later. In the chlorinated pool. I am still talking to you about help. I still do not have these luxuries. I have told you where I'm coming from. So put it together. We clutch our bellies and roll on the floor. When I say this, it should mean laughter. Not poison. I want more applesauce. I want more seats reserved for heroes. Dear forgiveness. I saved a plate for you. Quit milling around the yard and come inside. After the poetry in the graveyard, we may have done some light exploring in a local home that was being renovated. Here are some portraits from that portion of our shoot. Is it really trespassing if the door was unlocked? That's not really a question for me. I am a bit of an opportunist and there in front of me was an opportunity. I try to observe the campsite rule when exploring. Leave it better than you find it. The important thing is we closed the door behind us when we were finished. Let me show you some portrait formatted images. YouTube is ruthlessly landscape. Every photo I have included thus far has been landscape. Or cropped to be landscape. So here are the portrait-style portraits. I think this spread of photos shows you the range of settings I was comfortable shooting at this point. Daytime. Indirect sunlight or shade. When people boast we out here, I can assure you it did not mean me and my camera. We are working the shade and around the edges. This was one of Newt's local graveyards and I wasn't super familiar with the area. Obviously it is a graveyard, it isn't a bustling metropolis. But who knows, a funeral could arrive at any moment and find Newt and I shooting photos. I was a touch more cautious in those days. Slowly I will learn that the random passer-by or interloper passing through really doesn't care what we are up to. More than one time. Not this time. A person would walk right by a poorly obscured unclothed model. And just keep going. My gut would tell me they never even noticed. There is some irony to that. I mean, we take these photos to be seen, right? To share? To garner some attention. But back to Newt and I, back in 2015. I think these photos reveal a delicate nature to Newt. And to our own lives. From dust and to dust we return, right? If you were one of those folks reading the camera settings above, I have this to say in my defense. I am and will always be picky about my light for the express purpose of never adjusting my settings. You can fix a lot of things in Lightroom, but I was pretty stubborn about just getting what I wanted in the moment. I am willing to tweak. But will avoid massive photoshopping. Let me show you 3 of my favorite headstones. First is Emily. Great shape. Very erect. Second would be Ida. It mirrors Emily's headstone. I assume these two were related. The saddest headstone would definitely be Our Darling Boy. I think the statue on top is a dog. This was a pet. There is definitely a story there. And we did some quick photos at Newt's place to wrap it up. Because we did them quick, I am showing them quick. Let's wrap this feature up with a highlight on some of my favorite stills of Newt during this shoot. We have already checked this one out, but here it is again. I like this shot a lot because of the framing through the headstones. There is a similar shot of this in the set, but Newt's posture in this one communicates a sense of power and authority. This is another repeat, but from the house we explored. Again, framing is what sets this shot apart from others. I grabbed this looking through the posts on the stairwell while Newt maintains her trademark strong eye contact with us. This is a new one, but again, I really enjoy it. So back in 2015 I was asking models to stand against walls with literally no separation. No blur. No bokeh. Just flat. It works here because of the placement of the cross over and behind Newt. I guess we were blessed. You can also see how much I enjoy introverted, closed and stiff posing. Lastly, we have my favorite capture from this shoot. Ironically, you can't see it here on YouTube. Not my fault. We can blame Newt. In a quiet graveyard, what else is there to do but to gear down and do what she called the sleeping deer pose. This is a pose that we will repeat in future shoots. At the very least, we can all enjoy the well-framed, level, rolling landscape around Newt. I guess this is as good a place as any to stop this video. Thank you for tagging along on these memories. I will be happy to share more in the coming weeks and months. Honestly, I just kind of winged it for this video. I just wanted to make something and see how it felt. Just like riding a bike. Be sure to check out my shorts and other videos. This is 47 Forever.